All right, folks. Circle on up, form the mosh pit. It's Death by a Million Cuts, and my name is Chris. We are here to dive into Minato Aqua. Just legendary VTuber in her own right. So sorry that she is no longer part of Hololive. Again, just another instance of seeing a VTuber briefly because, she speaks Japanese. A lot of that stuff I'm just not able to really delve into because I don't speak the language. Kind of relied on Clippers to be able to give me information on that. And, the one instance that really stands out to me with, who she is as a character, we're obviously going to get into it here, was playing a side-scroller game where you play as Flare. And there was a level where Aqua is like sweeping around this area, and you kind of have to navigate around her. And if you get too close to her, she aggroes and just runs after you. And there's nothing you can do. You can't beat her. She's going to one-shot you. I just remember being terrified of that. Because you don't know until all of a sudden, boom, you realize the threat that is presented. Anyway, this is by yet again, I always forget half the name, Dream World Witch. Please go support them. Dream World Witch. Let's just jump into this. Let's learn what we can learn.
Never judge a book by its cover. For at times, when digging a little deeper, you may uncover true greatness. That is a lesson I was taught watching a certain maid, a VTuber of two rich yet contrasting sides that can both endear and amaze you in equal amount. Walk with me as we reminisce on this legend who has journeyed over to the VTuber Elysian Fields, a star alongside other legends of the past, a VTuber of relentless determination, a VTuber of squishy adorableness, a VTuber of great prowess, a VTuber whose actions inspired others to rise in their wake.
Nice.
And an early pillar for one of the biggest agencies in the VTuber industry's history. This is the one once called Minato Aqua.
Just want to say, too, I think it's so cool that just like how I am always curious to learn more things, I never shy away from that. That's exactly what this gentleman aspired to do as well. Hey, I learned about this. Let's learn about it together. Love that.
Meet Minato Aqua, an onion-looking cute maid whose shyness and introversion are certainly matched by her short stature. Don't expect her to do any chores though, for she is a clumsy maid lacking any cleaning or cooking skills. Oh, you mean a maid cosplayer?
Oh.
Do be careful with this one.
I got
She's
it.
quite quick on the trigger. And that's just what happens if you question her maid legitimacy. You'll just have to accept that there are some maids who sleep and play games all day. But how could you even be mad at someone like her? Do you see her? She's one of the cutest things I've ever seen in my life. Even cuter is just how incredibly shy she is. Likely Hololive's shyest member for sure. Capable of making even the most basic of conversations turn hilariously awkward. From such shy
Jozo
Aqua ended up
recently.
being one of the Hobo members who had the least amount of collabs. Hololive?
Oh.
More like Sololive. Although,
Oh.
over the years, Aqua's internal growth allowed her to steadily break out of her shell. And every interaction she had with someone else was truly wonderful. They grow up so fast. Although
Yeah.
that certainly does not apply to her physique. For Aqua is known for being a very short and light girl. The number 44.5 has continuously come to haunt her. All the physical growth she ever wished for ended up going somewhere else. Besides the embodiment of adorableness, Aqua was certainly not known for being the brightest. There's a reason as to why she's frequently called Bakwa. In Yuzuki
Bakwa.
Choco's academic quiz, in which she
Hold on.
tested me, she's
Wait.
frequently called Bakwa. In
How good is the rumored Lazy Lion academic prowess?
Yuzuki Choco's academic quiz, in which she tested many VTubers in their general knowledge, Minato Aqua ended up scoring the lowest of every Hololive
no.
member. 1 misery point.
Oh,
Yes,
shoot.
a score she shares with Nishisanji Setsuna and Nanashi Inku Sekishiru Miko. Viewers beware, for you two will have your brain cells drained away if you listen to Aqua's stream BGM for too long. All these factors combined, her adorableness, her shyness, her clumsiness, her bad communication skills, her loss of brain cells, make Aqua a prime target of teasing by her friends, both in and out of Hololive. I mean, how could you not resist the temptation of tormenting this tiny onion?
怖いの喋ってよ。アクア。
最近なんでツイッター携帯ブラウザで入ってるの？
ブラウザの何がおかしいのロームでもいいやんな。
My absolute favorite piece of Aqua tormenting certainly has to be the hilarious event known as the Marin Hell Incident. What's this? 4 Marins? Who's the real one? Who will Aqua choose? Vote now with your phones!
マリンです。先輩。赤先輩、あんなやつが本当のアクアマリンだと思われますか？違いますよね。エントリーナンバー1、宝生マリンです。エントリーナンバー2、宝生マリンです。エントリーナンバー3、宝生マリンでちゅー。エントリーナンバー4、宝生マリンです。
で、誰が本物か当てればいいってこと？
ということですね。そういうことですね。
You know, I think I saw a animation of this, and I can't remember what anime art style it was based on, but it was so funny to me. If I am remembering the same collab, there was a question of which one is the real Marine. So funny. It was so good, because I think the actual Marine wasn't the one chosen, and I just remember during the animation, when they found out who it was the wrong one. Marine was just like, just so mad. A little tower of That's so good though.
マリンです。パラダイスですね、ここは。うるせえ。愛されてよ。
3
帰るんですか？帰るんですか？
さあ、マリンちゃんは？
そうです、私、宝生マリンです。赤先輩、ありがとうございます。ってことで。
Whoops, seems like she got the wrong one.
赤
Aw.
先輩、見損ないましたよ。白神だよ、3番は。白神のこちら。そうですね、2番ですね、船長は。赤先輩。
Ah, yes, I always knew Fubuki sounded more like Marin than Marin herself. But trust me when I say that Aqua is truly a wonderful idol. And all you have to do to believe me is seeing her perform on stage. When it comes to music, she's got quite a few original songs, Aqua Iro Palette being her most iconic. My favorite songs are definitely Stay Blue and Cassiopeia, both songs which make an appearance on Aqua's official visual novel, Aquarium. Seriously, if you love cute idol pop songs, definitely take a listen to her entire discography.
So that is another thing I like about this guy. And it's the whole reason why I try to let as many people know about all these different talents, whether they're indie or whatever. Oh my gosh, I just realized her tiara has an anchor on it. That is beautiful. Anyway, point being, most of us don't know about all the different songs out there. There's so many songs. There's so much music put out there all the time. And it really is a good thing to have people come alongside us and be like, hey, check this out. This is really good. If you like this, you want to check out this. You should check out this. Da, 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 da. I have a community that always gives me stuff to check out. And I have been falling behind on that as of late, but I'm trying to react to everything. And it's a lot. Anyway, let's keep going.
And those
Check
are
out those
just her
songs.
solo original songs, for she's also got plenty of covers and collab songs too. Aqua is a really good singer, but trust me when I say, we're just scratching the surface of Aqua's talents.
Let's go. I want to see more.
Minecraft, a source of many great interactions and stories for many Holo members. And
Yeah.
indeed, Aqua's history in the Holo server is very rich and iconic. Before Usada Pekura's reign of terror, it was
Whoa.
Minato Aqua who was the OG
Oh, no.
criminal, a frequent prankster who enjoyed messing with others. However, more often than not, it was usual for Aqua's pranks to backfire. Those
Aw.
were truly prime Aqua moments.
はい、できちゃった。はい、できちゃった。
But of course, on the topic of Minecraft, ask any Aqua fans and many will mention you of the iconic Neighbor Wars. It all began when Minato Aqua discovered that fellow Gen 2 member Murasaki Shion had built a house next to hers. Aqua was quite astonished at Shion's construction, bringing awareness of the difference in the level of civilization between their respective homes, and finally noticing how Shion's tall house covered up the sun in such a way that Aqua's house pretty much got no sunlight. And so, Minato Aqua, believing Shion
My
was
right to
depriving her
sunshine
house
is
of the
being
right to
infringed.
sunlight, and maybe feeling a little jealous, decided to go forwards with a lawsuit against a garlic-headed neighbor. And what was Shion's response? Placing dozens upon dozens of torches around Aqua's house to fix the lack of light. However, in the process, Shion got prickled by Aqua's berry bushes. And so, Shion went forwards with a lawsuit against her onion-headed neighbor, demanding a trident as compensation for injuries. Aqua's response? Delivering berries renamed to tridents to Shion's house. The back and forth between these two salad-headed neighbors would continue on, and their war would increasingly escalate. Acts of vandalism would be committed, underground tunnels would be built, murders would take place. Shion's house even blew up at some point. Eventually, the war would come to a pause. Only for a second neighbor war beginning, involving floors being turned to magma blocks. Finally, the war came to a close, with Murasaki Shion moving and building a new, more majestic house far away. Except this was not the end, for as always, Miss Minato Aqua took offense to her neighbor moving away. And so, Aqua resumed the wars, pranking Shion's new house.
みんなには聞こえる？聞いて。この素敵なハーモニー、育成オーケストラ、トロッコハーモニー、
Orchestra.
こね素敵。
Resulting in many likewise memorable moments.
え？シオンタンと目が合っちゃってる完全にえ、何？
Oh
どう
no.
やってさ
Uh-oh.
But the neighbor wars were merely one of the many events in Aqua's history in the Holo server. Throughout the times, both during and after the neighbor wars, Minato Aqua had constructed a vast network of underground tunnels and hideouts, connecting to many other members' houses as well as other locations. This underground network would be built again in the new server, with multiple intricate secret entrances hidden all over the Holo City, to the point where some Holo members could see themselves stumble into the tunnels by complete accident, much to their confusion.
すごい。
なんだここは
They're like,
This
what?
was an underground empire, and she, Minato Aqua, was its empress. In the old server, the underground also served as Aqua's hideout during the iconic Hololive Resistance movement, a rebel group whose goal included blowing up the Hololive HQ.
今日から君もホロライブレジスタンスだ。よっしゃー。いくぞー。爆発するぜ。
With Matsuri's aid, Aqua managed to lure Tokino Sora to an intricate underground hideout, with Matsuri guiding Sora through the many secret passages in it. At last, Sora and Aqua were face to face, and so, wishing to settle who would hold the title of Archangel of Hololive, Aqua laid out her challenge. However,
反逆者なの？そう、ホロライブのレジスタンスということで。じゃあ敵だね。
a legendary moment had been born as the iconic phrase from Sora proceeded to destroy Aqua's fighting spirit.
いいか、ソラちゃん。
In the end, Sora was victorious, and Aqua was abandoned by her only resistance member, Matsuri. But this would not be the only time Aqua ran an organization in the Holo server. One cannot forget the founding of her very own Minecraft construction company.
Oh.
Very own Minecraft construction company, Akukin Kensetsu. In the history of the old Holo server, at its peak, Akukin Kensetsu was one of the juggernaut construction companies, originally being founded for the joint construction of the iconic ship Aquamarine Go. This was a time of great growth and prosperity for Minecraft construction companies, and nonetheless, it was only a matter of time until they would come to clash. in the history of the old Holo server. This would culminate in the arc known as the Kensetsu Wars. For quite a while, Usada Kensetsu had been a project entirely conducted by its founder, Usada Pekora. But even still, Usaken
Overlord of
already had
Blood
an
and
impressive
Iron.
construction repertoire of many useful resource buildings. At this time, Hololive Indonesia's Muna Hoshinova had been affiliated with Akukin Kensetsu. However, Muna's fateful meeting and resulting friendship with Usaken's CEO, Usada Pekora, would end up in Usaken's poaching of Muna from Akukin. This would mark the rise of Usada Kensetsu's great power and influence, and the massive escalation of the tensions with its rival Akukin Kensetsu. Akukin CEO, Minato Aqua, directly protested against Usaken. But in spite of the protests, Muna Hoshinova was adamant in joining Usaken as Pekora's right-hand woman. This defeat suffered by Akukin was a wake-up call to Minato Aqua, who believed Akukin needed a rebirth and a change of its approach, especially after comparing a simple Dirt HQ to Usaken's fancy
Dirt
HQ.
HQ.
As such, Aqua proceeded to blow herself up.
Wow. How it just leans.
Thank you.
This was to be
Thank
a new
you.
beginning for Akukin. Due to the CEO's lacking communication skills, Aqua employed the aid of her second-in-command Hosho Mari and Human Resources Director Okami Mio to conduct interviews in order to recruit new members. And while Marin and Mio loved nothing more than to tease the little onion, over time, Akukin Kensetsu managed to employ the largest roster of Holo members at its peak, with members such as Yuzuki Choco, Aki Rosenthal, Yozora Mel, Roboko, Yukihana Lami, Airani
Lami.
Yofi, Amane
Wami,
Kanaka,
wami, wami.
and Momo Suzunene, and even Inomai Nanis and Gaurgura, though theirs were much later additions. Inspired by Usaken's map art logo, Aqua created a new map art logo for Akukin, and with
That's cool.
Mio's aid, Akukin's greatest project was to be undertaken. The building of a new and impressive HQ. This was a massive project. Each Akukin
Ooh,
employee
that looks
would have
nice.
roughly 30 minutes to construct their own additions to the Akukin office.
Oh,
and they would stream
that's
their
very
building
cool.
process one after the other, adding their own
Iofi.
charm and personality to it. This project
Iofi.
additionally saw the guest appearance of
Sorry.
Akukin's ally, Shiranui Flare, CEO
Flare.
of Shiranui Kensetsu, at the time a small rising star construction company. The foundation was built by Aqua, followed by the genial builder Flare's
Kenketsu, is
absolutely
that-
beautiful kitchen, Lami's small but well-constructed toilet, Mel's relaxing outdoor bath, Yofi's
Ooh.
cute and stylish cafe, Choco's cozy stone onsen, Kanata's sans-looking face of the CEO, Marin's dangerous TNT throne room, Nene's I Love Akukin walls and rooftop jungle tree area, Mio's aquarium, and Aki Rose's decorated basement room. Following
Oh.
this relay, the HQ would be continuously improved upon, resulting in a truly wonderful office full of personality and charm, a collective effort representing the newly reborn Akukin Kensetsu, which is very comparable to Usaken's own Pekoland project later on. This was Akukin at its peak.
Nice. So, construction company is Kensetsu. Kensetsu. Kenkatsu means healthy life. Gotcha. Kenketsu, Kenkatsu. Okay, so construction company is Kenketsu Kaisha. Okay. Kenketsu is construction. Got it. I'm always fascinated to hear words that sound so similar in a different language, forgetting the fact that that happens so much in English. I don't know why I'm like, oh, two words that sound similar? Anyway. Meanwhile, I'm a rapper, so of course you're going to have this.
Continued growing in power and influence, Akukin was beset with difficulties. While Usaken members were paid in emeralds, diamond gear, and other valuables due to the Usada Trade Center, Akukin employees were paid in codfish, and often without any pay at all even still. Eventually, many even began to label Akukin Kensetsu as a black company. This, alongside many other problems and a particularly bad Zen loss, eventually caused Akukin to go bankrupt, and its CEO running away. While he still held the hope for an Akukin comeback, Minato Aqua would later confirm Akukin Kensetsu's official dissolution.
Oh no.
It had been quite some time since the last time Aqua had been in Minecraft. The times had changed. The server was new. Several construction companies had risen and fallen. There was much that was different and unfamiliar. Aqua decided to tour this new environment, impressed by the new many amazing constructions of her fellow peers.
Is that
Of course,
Mina
all it
barfing
took
over
was
there?
for such a cute little thing to wander about the wrong neighborhood for her to fall prey to its world's villains. Usana Pecora! Because of course it's Pecora. Just look at how Aqua recoils at the sight of her. Aqua's worries were well founded, as Pecora would then proceed to scam her on sight.
これさえ持ってきちゃいけないじゃん。
所持しているとの預
Carrying
かりま
dangerous
す。
goods.
私これ没収されんの全部。
おいやったアクア先輩のもらえた。
ご協力感謝します。では。
See ya.
She was also lured and fed into Pecora's warden.
これ死ぬじゃん。それが高い。
Ooh, you got the you're in front of the freaking
Which happened again and again.
ちょっと待って。
冗談ペコですやん、アクア先輩。It's joke, Minecraft joke.
Which was followed by Sakamata Chloe also scamming Aqua as soon as they met.
新手のなんかぼったくりに合ってる。
Pecora and Chloe then team up and continue to torment Aqua.
Oh,
until
no.
she finally hit her breaking point.
これどうしたらいいんだろうな。
Uh-oh.
とりあえず殺しとくか。
この後、ミナとアクアをマイクラで見た者は誰もいない。
Following Aqua's murder of Chloe, she set her sights on her great CEO
She got a
rival.
bunch of stuff.
Pecora took to the
Oh,
skies,
oh,
attempting
oh.
to evade Aqua's pursuit.
You can do it.
But Aqua too had
Whoa.
an Elytra under her possession.
Dude, it's
What
an anime.
followed was a tense aerial pursuit.
That's spooky. Looking around and see him. Woo. Talk is no time for talk.
話し合いましょう。
We're done talking. Wow. Woo.
待て。
話し合いましょう。
Dude, I want this animated. I want this animated. With this music as well. With the castanets clicking.
先輩、仲間です。仲間です。
We're no longer friends!
Eventually, Aqua gave up the pursuit and Pecora suggested for the three of them to settle the matter with a fistfight, to which they all agreed. But Aqua knew better than to go into the ring with such troublemakers unprepared. So
Oh,
she
yeah.
pulled out a diamond sword she had hidden in an inventory and killed both her scammers. Thinking she'd won, she logged out of the server. However, she had left all her other items inside a chest, which Pecora promptly took. Never changed Aqua. And so, Aqua's settling into the new server would take place. All of what I just said are merely a few major episodes of the vast history that Minato Aqua had in the Minecraft Holo server. There is so much that this is simply scratching the tip of the iceberg. But while Minecraft has been a major pillar of Aqua's many activities, it is not by far the only one. You see, Aqua's relationship with video games is quite deep. And it is exactly in the stage of gaming that this gaming maid shows truly stellar excellence.
Okay.
Indeed, this small cute thing might just be the single most threatening mouth-breathing thing in Hololive when it comes to video games and competition.
ランクは人生なんだよ。
Breathing thing.
勝つしかねえだろ。
Not only is she
Yeah.
a determined player when it comes to beating generally regarded difficult games, she's
Whoa,
also
look at her
dabbled
go.
into speedrunning on occasion. Speedrunning games like Dark Souls Remastered, Sekiro, Only Up, Getting Over It, and Minecraft.
Wow.
Moreover, Aqua is a very competitive person who just gravitates towards multiplayer competitive
That's
games. She not only
crazy.
grinded all the way to VIP in Smash Bros. Ultimate, she's quickly ranked up
No
to
way.
Master Rank in Street Fighter 6. After
the
barely
heck?
picking it up. And also apparently peaked at Diamond 1 in League of Legends.
What the
Yes,
hell?
This cute little thing is a League player. And then, out of nowhere, Aqua shows herself to be quite capable of kicking ass even in Valorant. Because of course she is. In the month leading to her graduation,
Dang.
she will then organize a small Valorant event, a showdown of agencies between Hololive, Nishisanji, and Vispo. Here, Aqua proved herself to be quite the force to be reckoned with.
Woo.
And of course, this leads me to a topic that at this point may as well be a tradition in this channel.
Yeah.
Mario Kart.
Hey!
As many frequent viewers of this channel already know, the Holo New Year Cup is an annual Mario Kart tournament and likely one of the biggest collab events in Hololive.
That's so
what
fun.
some may not know is that Minato Aqua was the founder of the Holo New Year Cup.
No
Organizing the
way.
very first tournament has paved the way for this
Hey.
wonderful tradition. Taking
That's
place
cool.
on November 10th of 2019, the tournament saw the participation of 20 members. At the time, from Gen 0 all the way to the third generation of Hololive.
That's a
The
lot
tournament
for a
was
first
hosted
turnout.
in Sakura Miko's channel, and the participants would be divided into 2 groups, with the top 5 in each group advancing to the Tsuyo Cup, while the bottom 5 would go on to compete in the Zako Cup. Aqua herself was a competitor in this tournament, and she went on to become the very first legend in the history of the Holo New Year Cup. Truly,
No way.
Aqua's skills far surpass that of any other. And while
That's
other members
fun.
such as Shirakami Fubuki, Nekomato Okayu, and Usanda Pekura fought quite ferociously too, Aqua was just
Who'da
too
guessed?
powerful. The battle was a bit closer in the preliminaries, where Aqua ended up winning with 42 points, with Fubuki being the closest to her with 35 points.
Still, that's quite a bit away.
In the Tsuyo Cup, Aqua allowed herself to unleash even more of her power, as she proceeded to dominate the Tsuyo Cup, placing first in 3 out of 4 races and a narrow second place finish, winning
Wow.
in the end with an outstandingly massive 14-point gap between her and second place.
Dang.
She was the unmatched overlord who ruled over at the top of her throne, the Zeroth founder from which the tradition had originated from.
That's
and one to inspire
crazy.
in others a desire for victory. As such, as is tradition in this channel, I have come to tribute Hololive Mario Kart legends with titles befitting
The
of their
purple
deeds.
lightning bolt.
For Aqua, I have come to name her the Zero Overlord, Daitenshi Minato Aqua, the
Nice-
Zeroth
nice
founder from
nicknames,
which
I
all
love that.
came from, and the original champion who built the throne and then conquered it herself. 2020 was a busy
I built the throne and then I sat my ass down on it. It's awesome.
year, and as such, no tournaments took place. With the dawn of 2021, the second Holo New Year Cup would come to grace us at last. And here, a new legend would be born.
Who could it be?
Rivaling that of the reigning monarch atop her throne. Determined to become strong, Hoshimachi Suisei underwent intense training, doing anything she needed to improve at the game. Finally, the day had arrived. On January 11, 2021, the Hololive Cup.
Now, I know we already checked out, or we had some understanding of Toa and everything, right? I really want to know how she kind of became the spokesperson for a lot of stuff. I know she's done the most to basically do what I've done, where she looks at original songs and comments on them and stuff, and you know, encourages her gen mates, which is awesome. I want to know how she got to that point. That'd be really cool to learn.
Now renamed to its current name, Hololive New Year Cup, would take place. Champion Minato Aqua was placed in Group A, while the newly reborn Hoshimachi Suisei competed in Group C. As was expected, here too the Zero Overlord would give the world a show of power which awed and amazed all who witnessed her exalted performance. Without mercy, Minato Aqua took first place in every single race of
Wow.
Group A.
Wow.
Always with a tremendous gap
Look
between
at
her and
that.
everyone else.
Holy
At
smokes.
this sight, it seemed like there were none who could keep up with such a legend.
40? You're
Yet
almost twice as... You almost have twice as many points. That's insane.
the fighting continued. Eventually, it was Group C's time to race. And here the rising star Hoshimachi Suisei relentlessly pursued victory. A shooting star no longer to be underestimated. She had managed to qualify to the Tsuyo Cup.
Wow.
Placing first in Group C,
That's-
barely above the fierce competitor Nekomato Okayu.
That's
And so,
crazy.
The time had come for these two relentless forces to meet in the Tsuyo Cup. The almighty and exalted Overlord would be challenged by this upstart of an Azure Comet. The battle was to become one of the greatest legends in the history of the Holo New Year Cup. The Zero Overlord, Minato Aqua, asserted
Still
herself
ahead.
by placing
Still
first
pretty
in the
ahead.
very first race, with
Oh, but
Hoshimachi
Minato's
Suisei
right behind her.
in
I
second
mean,
place. Nonetheless,
Suisei.
the situation was to be reversed quite drastically in the second race, as
Uh-oh.
despite being initially in the lead, Minato Aqua dropped all the way to 8th place following an unfortunate sequence of events.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
shoot.
like an azure flash, Suisei had succeeded in placing first. However, this would not be the end of Aqua's fight, as in the very next race, she once again subjugated the competition by placing first yet again, with
Ooh, they are
Suisei
even
following
matched.
closely behind by placing second, much like in the first race. At last, all would be decided in the 4th and final race. Hoshimachi Suisei's consistency had allowed her to remain in the lead in terms of points, but the result of this race could easily change that, as Aqua's points were not too far behind in spite of unfortunate placement in the second race. Yet another fierce battle ensued, and in the end, Shirakami Fubuki, the runner-up who had been defeated by Aqua in the previous tournament, would be pivotal in deciding the winner of the tournament. As both Aqua and Fubuki approached the finish line, Fubuki refused to be overtaken, maintaining her 3rd place finish, with Aqua just barely behind her. As for Hoshimachi Suisei, she ended up with a devastating 8th place finish. Everything felt uncertain. What would this mean?
Yeah.
Who would be victorious?
Oh my gosh.
As the score revealed itself, the world would bear witness to the birth of a new legend. Hoshimachi Suisei had 1 point over Minato Aqua, overthrowing the Zero Overlord. Cup, and thus did the legendary Azure Flash Comet come to be. Both of the girls cried that day. The birth of a new rivalry. 2 girls whose fates would see them walk alongside each other. 2 stars in the bright sky of legends. Minato Aqua would make her return the following year, but as her interests lied elsewhere, she was far from what her peak once was.
Oh
Nekomata
no.
Okayu, the purple lightning
She's
bolt,
grown
would
long in
win
the
that
tooth.
year, overthrowing the
Oh,
Azure
and
Flash
Okayu, of
Comet,
course.
Hoshimachi Suisei. And then in the next year, the determined Minato Aqua was unable to participate due to scheduling conflicts.
Oh
But
no.
in spite of that, she offered her skills and expertise in coaching Hoshimachi Suisei, who would end up reclaiming the champion title that same tournament, becoming the first to ever becoming champion twice in the history of the Hololive New Year Cup.
That's so cool. Well, and so much of this too really plays out like such an anime, you know. And she taught her all she knew because she felt her life was taking her in a different direction, Aqua. And then Suisei regains the crown again that next year. Like it seems so like almost written out, you know?
Though we may have never
like
seen
WWE.
a full comeback of the Zero Overlord, her legacy is ever present for as long as the Hololive New Year Cup continues. Indeed, while we'll never get to witness the ultimate rematch between the first 2 Hololive Mario Kart legends, a hype from Zero to Azure, Hololive New Year Cup 6, Stars to the End type of rematch. The Hololive New Year Cup has seen throughout the years the rise of
Wait.
type of rematch. The Hololive New Year
The Cerulean Riptide.
Cup has seen throughout the years the rise of many legends that will continue to carry the spirit of competition within them. Legends following the same footsteps of the original legends of this wonderful tournament. And so, Aqua's legacy shall live on. But earlier I referenced how, at the time of the 3rd tournament, Aqua's interests lied elsewhere. So now we'll take a look at yet another of Aqua's noteworthy Apex legends. As per usual, Aqua, being mostly a solo gamer, was more used to playing by herself, even a game that increasingly required a full pre-made squad the higher you climb up. If you don't want to suffer, that is. Like in a game like Apex Legends. So, she was determined to complete a solo to master rank challenge in the game. A challenge that proved to be quite gruesome and difficult for the gaming onion at the time. After having failed to do such, she took a break from streaming Apex. However, around a year later, she would be back. And oh boy was she back.
Oh boy. Woo. Just even the gunplay and how the sound engineer's going, it just sounds so crunchy, just so
You
good.
see, there is a reason why I tend to compare Minato Aqua and Hoshimachi Suisei so much. Both of these girls are relentless, determined grinders that will do whatever it takes to improve at something they take an interest in. And they are both fast learners who, above all, know how to learn. During the time Aqua had taken a break from
Knowing how to
streaming
learn
Apex,
is almost
she had
more
in
important than
actuality
any
gone
skill
through a
you can
sequence
have.
training arc. And suffice to say, the newly reborn Minato Aqua was better, faster, stronger, more accurate, and knowledgeable in just about every way. More importantly, her playstyle had become incredibly more aggressive than before. She was just so fast and hard to hit, coupled with an incredibly aiming and tracking ability that had such lethality. One would have to be incredibly skilled to be able to defeat her in a neutral 1v1 duel. It was simply absolute bliss to witness her lay complete waste to the battlefield.
勝ちに来たっていうのが正直な
Ooh, I
It's
came
no
to win.
exaggeration that in terms of pure apex mechanical skill, Aqua is the single most threatening and ravenous thing in all of Hololive production, whose skills are recognized as such even by hardened veterans like Holostars Astaleda. Ever heard of the saying, kawaii on the streets, senpai on the sheets? Well, for Aqua it's cute beats killer streaks. With such an incredible performance, and a certain major VTuber tournament coming up, a lot of hype was built surrounding Aqua's potential participation.
Wow.
I am talking about none other than the VTuber Most Cooperative Tournament, or VSIQ for short. VSIQ is an annual tournament founded, organized, and hosted by former Apex Pro player Shibuya Hall, also one of the founders of the VTuber agency Neoport.
Neoport, yep.
In VSIQ, invitations are sent to several VTubers who will then themselves invite other VTubers to join their squad and compete together. Every squad has a maximum limit of point value that cannot be exceeded, with each player being evaluated on the basis of their rank and skill. Tokoyami Toa had received an invitation to become a team captain, and so Minato Aqua reached out to Toa asking to join her team. Toa accepted, and they would be then later joined by Hoshimachi Suisei, forming the popular unit known as Team Startend. The hype surrounding Team Startend was incredibly huge, attracting quite a lot of new viewers who had never watched VSIQ before, and it is easy to see why such a huge hype train took place. As from the perspective of a Hololive fan, we got to witness a rare full Hololive squad and two popular newcomers who had never been seen in such a competitive environment before.
Wow.
Aqua's amazing performance those previous months had especially enraptured the audience and built quite a lot of excitement for Hololive fans especially. Team Startend was something no one was expecting to happen, but the fact it happened was a beautiful thing. Of course, this is VSIQ we're talking about, and much in the same way I tend to hype the Hololive New Year Cup by how intense it is. Oh boy, let me tell you about VSIQ. It should be said that over the years, VSIQ has gotten increasingly sweatier and more intense, with multiple teams being coached by pro players and everyone determined to win. But above all that, many of the participants themselves are notorious for being VTubers of incredible skill, who themselves should not be underestimated. At this point in time, there were many VSIQ legends, hardened warriors who'd fought many intense battles, who would meet Minato Aqua with all they had. Legends like Virtual Gorilla, an Apex Predator whose great skills played a major part in becoming the champion of the third tournament just a year prior. For his mechanical prowess, excellent leadership, and the ability to train and bring out the best of his teammates, he was seen by many as the strongest of all participants going into the fourth tournament. And
I think I've only seen a snippet of Gorilla. I do not know anything about him, but really, yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it.
He's recognized as a major threat every single year. Astaleda, another major threat and a genius whose great skills and vast knowledge would see him set the battlefield ablaze in a maelstrom of chaos wherever he was present. For his great power, he was forced to play an at a time off-meta character, Mad Maggie, in order to lower his point evaluation for the tournament. A decision resulting only in the birth of an even greater monster.
So it's like you basically, in order to let other people in, you have to play as a character you're less good at, just so you can bring other people in. That's kind of crazy, though.
Kaga Sumire, one of Vispo's strongest Apex players. Though an eccentric with an unpredictable mind, she's a highly calculated competitive veteran, known for being capable of turning the tables when the odds are stacked against her. Her shotgun play is beautiful as it is deadly, and she can excel and play her best in any given role, making her a truly adaptable teammate that can fit into any team. Tachibana Hinano, another of Vispo's strongest Apex players, and a former Apex Predator that is solid in just about every way. While she may no longer be at her prime, she's a highly experienced veteran who is nonetheless still a force to be reckoned with, and yet another threat that should never be overlooked, as otherwise one could quickly find oneself utterly trampled beneath her heel. Every so often, those old instincts kick in, and she puts on a dazzling performance. Kurumi Noa, yet another of V-Sport's strongest apex predators, and one
I'd
who's
seen
quite
Noah before.
terrifying when she's in complete focus, and likely one of the most driven V-Sport members when it comes to improving her skills. Should you back her into a corner, you may just find out why she is often called the Clutch Queen, as she has been known to wipe entire squads when she's left as the last one standing. She's aggressive, calculated.
She's like, okay.
It makes it dangerous at any range. Just
That's
1 year
crazy.
later, she would end up leading her team to victory in the 5th V-Cycle tournament, as well as making it to Apex Predator after that. Pakael, the champion of the very first V-Cycle tournament, whose genius game knowledge and skills are comparable to Asta Leda's. He is a
Ooh.
methodically patient and opportunistic player, able
Very
to lead
cute
even
model.
inexperienced teams to victory. While he is often cursed with misfortune during the actual tournament day, he has a habit of dominating the scrims leading up to it, and will be a truly terrifying opponent should he bring out such lethal performance to the big day. Yuki Chihiro, Nishisanji's Apex Queen, whose knowledge allows her to very well punch above her weight class, on top of being an experienced leader who had become the champion in the second V-Cycle tournament. Her improvement throughout the years has been quite noticeable, and she only continues to grow stronger and stronger, regardless of whatever form she may take. Shirayuki Raid, another highly skilled player whose deathly prowess had allowed him to score the most kills in the third V-Cycle just a year prior.
Wow.
And honestly, I could keep going on and on with how many absolute threats and experienced competitors these tournaments have. Kuzuha, Kanae, Naraka, Hoshikawa Sara, Natsuiru Matsuri, Hayun, Utai Meika, basically
Utai,
every
yeah, we
single
talked about them.
V-Sport member, and the list goes on and on and on. All of these VTubers would prove to be dreadfully fierce opponents, and all of them had far more experience in a customs environment to being such frequent competitors in the many Apex tournaments of the JP competitive gaming VTuber scene.
Wow.
On top of it all, Team Startend was one of the teams that did not opt to get themselves a coach, but at least they did have Tokoyami Toa, who herself had been a staple V-Cycle competitor.
Okay, wait. Like other staple participants, she also participated in many other tournaments. Okay, cool.
Since the second tournament, who could guide their less experienced teammates in a tournament environment. Indeed, while Minato Aqua may have been the most skilled member in Team Startend, this sort of team competition environment was not something she was used to, which would prove to be Team Startend's greatest challenge to overcome. In the days leading to the official scrims, each team would prepare on their own, with participants like Kuzuha often hosting and inviting all other teams into unofficial scrim matches for practice. Right here, Team Startend's strengths and weaknesses would come to light. As expected, Minato Aqua proved to be a ferocious force, an aggressive fragger, always at the vanguard of the team's assaults, and quite skilled at
So I don't know what
outflanking
fragger
and
means.
outmaneuvering her opponents.
I assume
Piling up kill
throwing
after
frag
kill
grenades?
with their iconic devotion, amazing skill with the Peacekeeper, and their newly found prowess with the Wingman. This absolute show of force instilled both awe and fear in those who witnessed her, and
That's kind of cool, if I'm assuming the name correct. Being a wingman means they're going to be there with you to help you in something, you know, drive you somewhere, or you're at a bar with a buddy and your wingman's there to kind of like direct the flow of conversation. But having a gun right beside you, your wingman, that's pretty cool. That's almost a bar.
many believe their mechanical skill to be of Apex Predator level.
てかさ途中さなんかプレデターみたいなレースいるなと思ったらさ港アクアちゃんだった。
しかもなんなら、アクアさん、そう本当に多分出場者で一番強い
That's a cool design.
やばいと思ってるな。
かっこいいよな。いやかっこいいよ。いや女性ソロマスマジかっこいい。ねかっこいいよね。
アクキンマスターアクキンマスター強えマジで。
That's gotta feel super good though, to be just doing your best and then everyone around you is like, who is this? They're really good. Like, oh man, I love
もうちょっ
that.
と強くいってなかったね。
いやピースキーパー
However, this overwhelming aggression would often border to the side of recklessness, proving to be quite the double-edged sword. Upon
Gotcha.
catching the scent of blood in the air, she would place herself in risky situations where her team was too far away to back her up. Apex Legends at its core is meant to be a team game, and that is even truer for a tournament environment like V-Cycle. As many would begin to see her, Aqua was a ferocious, ravenous dog
out of control
one
train,
struggled to keep on a leash. Of course, all of these made sense. Up to this point, Aqua had been a solo player, used to teaming up with randoms. She had grinded to master rank all by herself, and while this outstanding achievement had given Aqua a very advanced ability for self-reliance and a deadly sense of opportunity, her teamwork ability lacked that same investment. So it was that going forward, Cole and Suisei knew they would have to work together to contain Aqua's bloodthirst.
Perfect art, first of all. But then secondly, I think that's so true with how a lot of people look at, just that transition between playing solo and doing team play. Like even playing, a video game single player versus going into multiplayer. It's a whole different thing. You're so used to handling everything yourself, doing management of things yourself, threat assessments yourself, mobilization all by yourself. It for some people it can feel like, oh, well, everyone's holding me back. Why can't I just go do my thing? Just let me go. Just let me off the leash, coach.
ポータル下引いたからね、下引いた。上一回戻る、一回上戻る。戻って。私、スイちゃんにすら怒られたからね。スイちゃんに手綱ピーって引っ張られたからね。あきちゃん、こっちって。あきちゃん、早くって。
Come back.
こっちって。
Come back.
正気になった。はっ、私じゃ、今まで何
What have I done?
It's not like Team Startend did not have any teamwork at all. They were playing to win, so they still had many good moments of coordination, and they would only get tighter as a team with the approach of the big day, even managing to get quite a few champion games during the unofficial screens. Regardless of the outcome of the tournament, Aqua's performance had already clearly made a strong impression on many of the other competitors. Always be wary of that one wraith with crazy movement.
あ、そう。めっちゃあの人ストレーフしてたじゃん。動きが悪かったよ、マジで。
There's even this one insane moment where Aqua dodged every single wingman shot fired at her by Tachibana Hinano. And mind you, Hinano is a super strong player with a deadly aim among other things. If even someone as incredibly strong as Hinano is struggling to hit Aqua, that just tells you how crazy good Aqua's movement skills really are. Of course, that's not to say Aqua is invincible in a 1v1 encounter. As I've established, V-Cycle has many amazingly skilled VTubers, and it certainly is not a one-person show. It's just that, more often than not, Aqua being such an amazing duelist, she was more likely to win such 1v1 encounters. She was recognized as one of the most mechanically skilled participants, and many compared her to V-Gorilla, himself a mechanical god. Even still, those who did not
mechanical, I'm not sure what that means besides putting out like mechanical sentries and stuff.
Most of the master rank players were at Aqua's level in some way or form, and even if their movement or aim were not as good, they more than made up with it with game knowledge, experience, better teamwork, or something else. We can observe that in Aqua's 1v1 against fellow master rank Yuki Chihiro, both players in a shotgun fight. Peacekeeper versus Mastiff.
降りてきた。
オッケー、ナイス。ここ一人。なんかジム入ってくる、これ。ジムやって。まだやるよ。ジム。一人やった。
いや、強いよ。
これジム必要。オッケー。まだやってる。
おう。I don't even know where I'm supposed to be looking. There's so much going on. This is why I couldn't even play a game like this. I'd literally just spray and pray, just like, okay, this is the general area where people are, just blah. Ooh. Ooh.
プチと
Sheesh.
プチじゃん
There is no doubt that Aqua had better movement skills on top of being a more proactive player with armor swaps, but Chihiro was able to land more shots overall while taking less damage, remaining calm and calculated the whole time.
Sure, we'll acknowledge that it's clear to see who moved better. I can't view any of this. My brain's like, "Arr." So I applaud your ability to assess these clips and be like, okay, better movement set here, but then this person was better with, actually landing shots. I couldn't tell you. I didn't see it. I didn't see it, coach.
Chihiro is a V-Cycle champion who led their team to victory in the second V-Cycle. Honestly, had the encounter repeated itself, either of them could win. It all came
Sounds
down
like
to a
it.
single shot at the
Same
end.
with
The point
her
is,
racing.
Both players were incredibly skilled,
Sweet
so
Chad.
one cannot immediately judge what the outcome will be. And this can apply to many other participants in this tournament.
Sure,
Pretty
sure.
much every single team has at least one player, one ace, who you should look out for. Nonetheless, for her overwhelming aggression and amazing mechanical skills, Minato Aqua began to be known by several nicknames, like the Demon Lord of Climatizer. But none were more popular and widespread than the Mad Dog. A fitting nickname for someone
that's a
with
good
such
one.
overwhelming aggressiveness
I like
and
that.
her leader Toa struggled so much to keep on a leash. Moreover, due to Aqua's affinity to playing alone, her threat level actually increases when she's the last one standing in her team.
Oh,
Because
sure.
At that point, there is no one that can hold her leash.
Yeah.
It then becomes a matter of how much damage she can inflict before finally going down. This would be perfectly exemplified in one of the unofficial scrim matches.
Yeah, if you don't have
April
anyone
8th,
else you have to think
2022.
about, then
Aqua was
You're
out
locked in.
scouting for enemy teams, being positioned very far away from her own team. Toa and Suisei were alone holding a house when they are assaulted by Team Shirande, comprised of Shirayuki Reid, Aizawa Ema, and Higuchi Deron Kaede. As Toa informs her team about these new threats, Aqua decided to return as fast as she could. However, she would not make it in time.
やば
You see, Deron was playing a particular character of her liking called Rampart, whose ultimate ability is a very powerful Gatling gun with a firepower capable of destroying doors. Additionally, the attack came very suddenly, as Shirayuki Rei used his Wraith portal to quickly transport his team right in front of To and Suisei. And from there, Deron unleashed a devastating barrage of death.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
いきますよ。これやばい。ごめん。
すいません今
やばい。ごめん。
you can tell that when
ご
I'm
めん。
By the time Aqua had arrived, the house was safely under Team Shirande's control. Aqua attempted to fight, dealing a considerable amount of damage. But realizing her numerical disadvantage, coupled with the fact that Shirayuki Reid was too dishing out quite a lot of damage back, Aqua retreated. From the remainder of the match, she would be by herself. And here Aqua's struggle yet again amazed the audience. She survived as long as she could while hunting down stray targets in a brilliant show of guerrilla warfare. First, she shot down Kuzuha, before retreating back to safety and biding her time. Next, she spots Aruse Ino and V-Gorilla on the run, and she proceeds to give chase, gunning Aruse Ino down and retreating before V-Gorilla could react. But this would not be the end, for Aqua would then proceed to attack again, finishing off the weakened V-Gorilla with her wingman.
いけるないかも最高もう乗らない
Toa's like, the heck?
最高。ナイス。
After escaping from a dangerous exchange of fire, she was pursued by a lone opponent that caught her off guard. But by making use of the resources she had prepared beforehand, Aqua regained her momentum and faced back her challenger. What a show! Aqua and her devotion are just beautiful to watch. I can barely even keep up with her movements. Aqua
Yeah,
would
I
proceed
can't.
to climb all the way to 5th place before she was finally surrounded by a full squad and put down.
追ってくるんかいこっち
Oh, you got two on you and you're bottlenecked in a box. Gee
Yet, in
whiz.
spite of having such a strong ace, were Team Startend to have any hope of winning this tournament, they would still have to work on their own teamwork, as well as avoiding being picked off while split up. However, the effort was there. This could be immediately observed on day 1 of the official scrims leading up to the tournament day. Team Startend placed quite low in the first rounds, but their performance would then begin to improve, culminating their 3rd place finish in round 7, their highest placement for the day. Compared to the previous matches, one could notice they were indeed playing better as a team, which was what allowed them to finally start to place higher. They would place 8th out of 20 overall for that day, which is certainly not bad for the first day of official scrims. But it's worth remembering that Team Startend was not the only one improving, and as such, Startend knew they needed to improve much more than that. On day 2, Startend ended up in 10th, with their best round being round 6, in which they
Seto's
placed
got a
third
cute
yet
model.
again, with 11 kills,
Very pretty.
9 of which had been acquired by Aqua, truly living up to a reputation as an absolute menace. On day 3, Startend placed 9th, with round 6 being yet again their best round, so close to victory at 2nd place, in which they acquired 9 kills, 6 of them belonging to Aqua. Day 4 was a great day for Startend, where the potential of this team was able to shine once more. Though initially struggling, they managed to place 4th in round 3 with 9 kills, 8 of them being Aquas.
Wow.
But it would be in round 5 where Startend shone the brightest. April 14th, 2022. The fighting raged on. The ring was shrinking ever so smaller, and Team Startend found themselves amidst a lethal realm of mayhem. Scoring kill after kill, their teamwork vastly improved. With 5 kills under her wing, Aqua was completely in the zone and out for blood. Its stench was all around her. Whose head would be next for her to claim? As she finished off Asta-led squad, she had her leash pulled by Toa.
アクターそれめっちゃ離れてる。一人で行き過ぎ、一人で行き過ぎ。やめたね。あーナイスナイスナイスナイス。オッケーオッケー、ごめんごめんごめん。戻るごめんね。もうちょっとチームプレーしようチームプレー。戻る。
That's
I
literally a
suppose old habits die hard. With Aqua regrouping with her squad, they continued fighting off the squads around them, with Aqua knocking down Shiro inside the tunnel bridge, which Toa managed to
Shiro's
finish
cute
off.
too.
Their attention then completely shifted as Kurumino's team dropped from the skies. However, with X-Albio accidentally dropping to the bottom of the ravine to be picked off amidst the blazing chaos, Team Startend see themselves having a very advantageous 3v2 matchup, in which Suisei managed to shoot down Reimu Endo, while
Endo.
Aqua got the kill on Kuruminoa. Aqua then proceeded to finish off Saigusa Akina and Hozuki Warabe inside the tunnel bridge, before moving on to fight Fua Minato and Mayuzumi Kai atop the
Minato's
bridge.
got a
With
nice
a
fit.
masterful use of the Peacekeeper, Aqua softened up the targets for Toa to clean up. And just like that, Team Startend had managed to secure a safe and advantageous high ground position as the remainder of the enemy teams continued their relentless carnage. As the last 2 teams exchanged fire down below, they would be mercilessly bombarded by Startend from up above. Aqua, sensing blood, was itching to jump down, but Toa managed to keep her contained.
いけるよこれ。まだ行かないでまだ行かないで。まだ行かないで。まだ出る。
Hold.
ほらエリア取れてるから。
Heal, heal.
勝てるここで耐久絶対行かない。
And here, Toa does a smart call of keeping Aqua to guard the safe position up the ravine, while she
Yeah.
and Suisei would jump down to secure the kills on the remaining squad. As long as Aqua remained safe, the ring would kill those below. And since
Yep.
Toa and Suisei would be the last ones to deal damage on their opponents, even if they were to die by the ring, Startend would still secure the kill points for themselves.
Right.
The plan worked perfectly.
There
Team
you go.
Startend had managed to win their first official scrims round, with Aqua scoring 10 kills, Suisei scoring 4 kills, and Toa scoring 3 kills, for a grand total of 17 kill points. With this amazing victory, without counting the extra optional rounds, Team Startend was officially the overall victor of Day 4 in the tournament scrims.
Nice.
All 3 of them had done their part, and only by working together did they achieve this wonderful victory. This would surely be good for morale. Day 5 started with Team Startend almost winning round 1, placing 2nd with 5 kills, and then later placing 9th with 8 kills in round 3. Day 6 was another good day for Team Startend, managing to score kill points in every match. Of note were round 2, where they would place 5th with 8 kills, round 3 with Aqua's relentless aggression against Kuruminoa, and that super clutch 1v1 against Hayun.
Whoa. Ooh. Wow.
Before Aqua being
I followed
smacked by
that.
V-Gorilla.
あごめん。
Blah, blah.
And then the amazing display that was round 4. But before round 4 started,
でラジ
めち
オの
ゃめちゃ
感じが
もうね、助けてね、とはもうダメ。なんかメンタルが終わってきた。
なんでどうしたのなんで私とまた一緒だよ
プレッシャーが今やばいかも。もう素直に、素直に言うとマジで今プレッシャーがやばい。
言え
もう吐きそうなんだ今。本当に今
Too much
心の
movement.
余裕がないんだ。元はひどいやつなんだ。もうダメだ。
母ちゃんは優しいよすごいやっぱリーダーとしてすっごい頑張ってくれてるし
You know, that's such a cute thing for her to be like, hey, sorry, but this is how I feel. And everyone's like, yeah, don't worry about it. You're doing a good job. I've been told by people I'm too kind for my own good. And I'll run myself ragged to try and make everybody happy. And then when I finally break, everyone's like, oh, dude, it's cool. It's fine. And I'm like, really? It's just... Anyway, I can relate to that. That's all I mean.
本当にそうだよ
もうスイちゃんとアクタン出るエイペックスプレッシャーがすごい。
やめろよなんだけどやばすぎ
Yeah, it is a roller coaster. Let me tell you what.
ちょっと待
勝たなきゃ
って
勝たなきゃって思えば思うほど怖いんだよとは。
怖いねガチ泣きしてるどうしたの
違うのなんか勝ちたいじゃん。二人でやるんでエイペックスすごい楽しいし努力も面白いんだけど、なんか怖いんだよ。
いや怖いよね
Yeah, that's tough. It's scary. It is scary.
すごくて心に余裕がなくて
みんなも優しく
最低なこと
してあげて優しくして
言う。
あげて優しくしてあげてくださいまーちゃんはねこう見えてもね繊細な部分があるん
Like,
です
hey, I'm just trying to do my best, guys.
Unexpectedly, the pressure of the tournament was beginning to get to Toa. The pressure of winning such a competitive tournament, of being three massive VTubers, carrying the hopes of their many passionate fans. The pressure of not wanting to disappoint those who believe in them, and for Toa specifically. Also the pressure of leading and guiding her less experienced teammates for what was no doubt one of the teams with the highest expectations placed on them. With
Well, and that's the funny thing about it, right? Is you know that their fans wouldn't care either way. You know that the teammates, you know, on the opposite team wouldn't care either way. You know that if they all lost, no one would have a problem with that. But when you have that expectation in your head, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. The whole rest of the world can tell you, hey, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We're just having fun. You know, even though this is a tournament, we're just having fun. It doesn't matter. You can make yourself feel sick if in your head you feel like this is the only way that I can go. Oof.
so much heated discussion surrounding it. This pressure felt overwhelming. As the day of the tournament approached, the more Toa felt like she had to win, the scarier it all felt. On top of it all, she felt bad about lacking the composure to keep her emotions in check. Shouldering such pressure,
Hey, get it out
closer
early.
they got to the fated day, realization came crashing down. But as Toa began tearing up, Aqua and Suisei reassured her and gave her the cheer she needed, motivating each
There you
other
go.
to do
There you
their
go.
very best. There was no need for Toa to shoulder this pressure alone, for she had her
Yeah.
team, her friends, together
Right.
with her. They
Totally.
had already come quite far since they got together at the beginning. More than just their teamwork, this journey had allowed their bonds of friendship to grow that much closer as well. There is no Startend without Tokoyami Toa, and all three of them had given it their all so far. Day after day of fighting, hours upon
But I
hours
get it,
of
I get it.
practice.
The intensity is
constantly
still there,
battling
for
against
sure.
Genuinely scary opponents, warriors with great experience and skill, who themselves were giving it their all to win and meet the expectations of their audiences as well. They had given it their all, and they had come so far. Regardless of what outcome awaited them, there is no shame in Startend. This was a precious experience, and they were having fun. Together, they had made Startend blossom into a truly beautiful flower. And thus, feeling better, Toa led Startend yet again in this final official scream match before the tournament day. A brutal
Crack your
task
neck, roll your
awaited
shoulders,
Startend
let's
as the searing
go.
ring would begin to push them towards the southern-eastern edge of the map. A long distance to traverse, but not one they weren't prepared for. With Suisei's Valkyrie, they had swiftly and successfully made it all the way from their initial position in Climatizer towards the dome, with little contact with hostiles, merely exchanging a few shots with the occasional distant team. As they made their way inside the buildings of the dome, sounds of nearby explosions would alert Startend to the presence of other teams in the area. With haste,
that's
Aqua led
spooky.
Startend
That's
towards the
spooky.
sounds. Utilizing the surprise factor, Aqua unleashed the ferocity of her devotion, dishing out an enormous amount of damage, devastating Team Elden Reading, and managing to knock down its ancient captain, Pakael.
Ooh,
Now
good,
the
good,
hunt
good.
was on. As
Good.
upon catching the scent of this auspicious opportunity, Aqua gave chase to the survivors. Yuhiriri would be the next to fall, trying to revive Pakael, and with Toa covering Aqua from distant shots with her dome, Aqua was able to recover and confirm the kill, before retreating back to the safety of her team indoors. A great start to their match. But even with this small victory, Startend remained vigilant of any direction, watching over their location until another opportunity presented itself. And that opportunity would come as Aqua looked at the kill log. Pakael, who had been revived by Kisaragi-ren, knocked down Utai Meika before himself being downed by Yakumo Beni. This was precious information and exactly the kind of opportunity she'd waited for. The scent of blood was in the air, and so Aqua led her team into the next building, knowing very well that a fight was ongoing. Yet, Startend contained themselves and did not immediately jump into the fight, instead opting for a more cautious approach.
Yeah.
The inside of the building
take your
was
time.
oddly quiet, but the presence of hostiles is then confirmed as shots were fired at Toa from the next room. Both sides
Who was that
however,
little guy?
did not commit to an engagement, remaining cautious. It was then that Minato Aqua decided to go outside to do some scouting and encountered the remnants of Team Elden Reading hiding below the building. She immediately opened fire, taking
Ooh.
Kisaragi-ren by surprise, resulting in a squad wipe and all their resources being now shared amongst Startend. Yet
Whoa.
this was not the time to lower their guard, as Team
Yeah.
Obeka would increasingly pressure Team Startend, forcing them to back away. Toa and Suisei now watched over both ways as Aqua recovered the health she'd lost during the retreat. A standoff ensued, and Aqua, now recovered, looked for another opportunity. The situation became more desperate as yet another team made their presence known. Now Startend were pinned down in a small room between two teams, but this would break neither their focus nor their resolve, as Startend stood strong, unbroken, remaining alert and fighting off both
There
teams.
you go.
With the
There you
ring
go.
forcing the team behind them to move away, Startend shifted the pressure towards Team Obeka, both teams mercilessly exchanging fire against one another. Feeling like now was the time, Team Startend unleashed their assault as one.
オッケーオッケー、行こう行こう行こう。左左左。ないよ。ジブ。割った割った。バルキリやったバルキリやった。ジブ。割ったジブ。ジブ割った。ジブやった。オッケー。割った割った。
Go, Toa.
バルキリやったバル。割った割った。バルキリやったバルキリやった。
Otonoku.
ジブ割った。ジブやった。オッケー。ナイス。ナイス。
With Toa and Suisei together attacking Yakumo Beni and Aqua taking out Odanobu and Utai Meika, Team Obeka had been completely wiped, allowing Startend for a brief moment of respite and celebration. Out there, the battlefield was brimming with teams all over fighting ferociously. Nonetheless, with the ring now shrinking to a different location, the three idols had no other choice but to venture forth into the chaotic stage of pandemonium. Their path engulfed in the symphony of battle,
待って、後ろいる後ろいる後ろいる。
a melody of bullets and explosions. In every direction, a waltz of death was being performed.
ローローローローロー。ノックノックノック。
The embers of life, one by one, snuffed out. A true carnival of blood and flame, like many others before.
ドーム中入ってドーム中入って。オッケー。ちょっと待ってね、ちょっと後ろに行ってない。
To some, this could be perceived as hell itself, but to the many over the years whose bonds had grown amidst the fires of struggle,
Ooh, Matsuri's got a
determined to
cool
push each other
outfit
beyond
there with
their
the hat.
limits, always willing to welcome new arrivals and challengers, sharing
Yeah.
in both victory. 優秀校より俺たち入れとけ
お前泣くなよ。
Oh, he's doing the haka on the left. That was cool. Da, 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 da.
頑張ったね、今ね。
めっちゃ頑張ったよ。
マジで嬉しい。
Oh,
and defeat.
oh.
やった、バルキリやった。
いやごめん。
よし。よし。はいはい。
This was home, and all in it, a family. No matter what size or affiliation, it was a place where today's rival could become tomorrow's friend, and all were equal before the passionate inferno of competition. It was oh so beautiful. Team Startend continued on their way, mercilessly purging an already crippled Team Meshazurev with concentrated fire. Then they too joined the fierce exchange of fire towards anything that moved. Startend stood firm, united as one as they unleashed a ceaseless barrage. And here, Aqua's wingman claimed Nishizono Chigusa and Nayuta. Toa knocked down Aizawa Emma, while Suisei managed to shoot down Kaga Sumire and Yozuna Nyu. Before them now stood Team Shirande, very much aware of Startend's presence, as they fired back and revived their fallen ally, Aizawa Emma. For a while, the two teams prepared and gathered their strengths, knowing full well that a decisive clash between the two was inevitable. Spearheaded by Aqua and under the covering fire of Suisei's missiles, Team Startend committed to a spirited offensive against Team Shirande. Toa and Suisei are able to keep Shirayuki Reid's attention, while Aqua's deadly prowess with the Peacekeeper devastated the remaining teammates around the flank, knocking down both Higuchi Kaede and Aizawa Emma. And so, Shirayuki Reid had no other choice but to make his escape. Their troubles were far from over, however. Quite the opposite. The situation was about to rapidly deteriorate into a desperate struggle, as the ring was about to shrink, and Team Startend was still not in the safe zone. Moreover, they were out in the open, surrounded by more squads. They soon came under fire, assaulted by Team Shocking Pink. Toa and Suisei ended up sustaining a considerable amount of damage, but to their relief, Aqua skillfully hit every shot of her wingman, taking Kanae out of the fight. She then single-handedly continued to keep Ichinose Uruha and fairies at bay, before being alerted by Toa to take refuge inside their dome. The opposing team, having lost one member and too pressured by the shrinking ring, began to make their escape. Startend too realized that they could not stay any longer, with the ring dangerously closing behind them. And so, Aqua goes ahead with making a portal to aid their team escaping. But she was about to encounter an ambushing force lying in wait. Team Pika Pika Hoshizora fans immediately moved to intercept her, with Natsuhiro Matsuri gunning Aqua down as soon as she was done making the portal. The all-consuming shrinking ring forced Toa and Suisei to advance out in the open, and Toa was shot down by Asumi Sena.
Oh no.
Suisei, who managed to go through the portal, found herself right in between Pika Pika Hoshizora Fez and the remnants of Team Shocking Pink, ending up being shot down by Ichinose Uruha. After all that struggle, Team Startend had been eliminated. Yet, it felt different, for this was a match ended with laughter. Startend had put on a truly wonderful performance, having worked together as a team and supported each other. And more importantly, it had been a truly enjoyable match where they were able to showcase the fruits of how far they'd come. Yes, they had fallen, but theirs was a flame that burned passionately until the very end. Before going down, Minato Aqua had been the kill leader, having claimed 9 kills and dealing over 2,800 damage, while both Toa and Suisei got 2 kills each, for a whopping total of 13 kills. With this, they had managed to place 4th overall for day 6 of the official series.
Hey, that's something.
And so, April
that's something.
17th, 2022, the big tournament day had finally arrived. Team Startend would give it their all in a truly brutal competition. Alas, the day would not be theirs. And Team Startend would end up placing 16th in the end. For Startend, it was a frustrating result. Sometimes
I'll just say on top of that, like, dude, we had this huge build-up, and then now it's like, and the day of, nope, they didn't get anywhere. Like, that feels like such a horrible end. Side note, this is super cute down here. Who's this one with the big hat? And the huge braids and the bows and all that. Oh my goodness. Anyway.
There are days when things don't go one's way. And
That's
this
true.
was a common occurrence in V-Cycle history, with
Very
many
true.
skilled veterans having experienced it and would continue to experience in the future. This time, it was Suisei who was overcome with emotion. But like with Toa before, her team, her friends, were there to cheer her up.
Totally.
3人で頑張れてよかったなって。
And so, Startend's V-Cycle journey was over. What a wonderful journey it was. And unironically, their real prize was the bonds of friendship forged and blossomed along their trail.
Of course.
They had
course.
truly come so far. Truly, the beauty of Startend was not in its final results, but in the entire experience itself. All this time, practicing and competing every day, with moments of desperation, of absolute focus, of laughter, awe, tears, failures and successes. All of them were a precious part of the experience. They even got to create new bonds, like how some Vispo members coached Suisei to improve her play, even though they were opponents, resulting in Suisei and Asumi Sena even ending up becoming friends. It all had been worth it for the entire journey itself, and in the face of all that, their end result of the tournament was unimportant.
Well, and that's the thing I like about that, and I mentioned it before, I'm sure, that the idea of it, you know, at the end of the day, we're all friends. And if we're able to move away from, yeah, it was a competition, but be able to move away from that and actually keep a relationship going after that, that's one of the most beautiful things that I love about not just VTubers and competitive play, but online creation in general. Like, I remember when so many YouTubers would collab together with games and stuff like that, and it still happens, but it's like so much of it is about competition and just, you know, all that stuff, and that doesn't, I've never cared about that ever. It's way more fun to have people come together and help each other, you know?
They had become a close trio, celebrated by its fans.
I'm also
And
really
to this
hungry
day,
for
even
that
though
takoyaki.
Startend did not place particularly high, there were many who had hope for their return in V-Cycle.
Yeah, there you
Aqua's
go.
performance
That's the
had
point.
left its mark in the
That's the
memory
point.
of many people, both viewers and competitors alike, with many praising her.
でも俺なんか今回の大会すげえスターテンドにトラウマを植え付けられた。本当に強くて盛り上げるためにうわ強えとかじゃない。もう全然違う。
Yeah.
本当に強い。本当に強いのよ。
Tachibana
There you
Hinano
go.
even jokingly wondered when Aqua would join Vispo, as her gaming skills would be perfect for it. And Kurumi Noa
Cute and strong.
fantasized about one day teaming up with Aqua to create an incredibly aggressive team. There were also other participants who hoped for Aqua to make a return in the future, remarking that with
There you
enough
go.
experience, it was only a matter of time until Aqua got used to the more team-oriented tournament environment.
Well, and that's exactly what I've said with a few other creatives on my channel, that you give them enough time. You know, they have something that they like to do. Don't discredit it because, oh, well, when it's your first time, you didn't do very well. No, keep working on it because there's something there. Keep nurturing it. So, anyway.
Though they had been adversaries, the many teams of V-Cycle looked upon Aqua and Team Startend as a whole with the utmost respect.
Yeah.
Who were happy to welcome Aqua back anytime she felt like competing again.
Good.
In fact, it nearly happened. Fast forward to 2024.
So
the
close.
6th Apex V-Cycle tournament had been announced by Shibuya Hall. Team Startend were actually feeling like making a return, and as was revealed later on, Shibuya Hall even made a direct invitation for Aqua to become a team captain, as he too wished to see her compete again. The timing wasn't right, as the tournament would take place the very same month as Aqua's graduation. As much as Aqua wanted to participate,
shoot.
she ultimately chose to spend her last month in Hololive with her fans and friends, as participating in
fair.
V-Cycle would take too much of her time due to the practice
Yeah.
and scrims.
Yeah, fair.
Nonetheless, Team Startend's participation was a special moment forever to be treasured in the history of Minato Aqua, one that I will always look back fondly upon. And by the way, Aqua would later succeed in ranking up to Master Rank solo yet again, because she's insane like that. She has liquid gaming flowing through her veins. Aqua's skills had remained solid, and everyone would be in for a treat whenever the mad dog was unleashed.
アクターの笑い声ディボーションみたいで草。
加速してる。
It's accelerating. Stop with the piano. Freaking stop it.
Minato Aqua was a truly beloved VTuber, not just by her fans, but many other VTubers alike. For someone so shy, she had all kinds of relationships. Her close friendship with Murasaki Shion is likely the most well-known, with every time they bickered being such a fun time. her time fighting alongside To and Suisei, which would blossom into a wonderful friendship between the three. How Marin often treated Aqua like a daughter, with Aqua even willing to listen to Marin's drunken rants. Aqua's pursuit of Nekomata Okayu and her consequential romantic rivalry with both Inugami Korone and Shion, her bond with her genmates from Gen 2, and even outside of Hololive she had friends, having a close friendship with Kagura Mea, but also being friends with Sasaki Saku, Takamiya Rion, and Tsukudani Norio. Both in and out of Hololive, Aqua was greatly respected and admired, with many VTubers looking up to her, like Amane Kanata, Kaoru Gura, and Hoshi Kawasara, and these are just a few examples.
And that's I didn't think I was gonna cry the whole time, but here we go. That's the most beautiful part of it to me. You don't have to be this charismatic, crazy, competitive gaming god person on any platform to gain respect and, you know, like being able to collaborate with people and make an impact. You just have to be you, and people will see you for that and value you for that. And then you see how in that natural progression of things, you get to be more outgoing. You get to make a whole bunch of friends, even though you're really introverted. Like it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful the way that the internet can be used to be such a place of connection, which is why it still just frustrates me so much that there's so many people out there that they make their whole business, their whole livelihood about building up a fan base of people who are as equally jaded and angry and disrespectful as they are, and then just spread filth and blight everywhere they go. I truly hate those people.
Perhaps Aqua was right. We do love her too much. By far, my favorite dynamic was that of hers and Usada Pekora's. I can say for certainty that Akupeko is my favorite duo in Hololive, and one that I always treasured whenever I got to see it. Began with Pekora making careful efforts to approach Aqua here and there, and though Pekora is a habitual tsundere, it seemed like Aqua was responding positively. Before we knew it, these two were already messing with each other, competing, collabing, and just in general enjoying themselves. It may have been brief, at least on stream, but Pekora truly did her best to include and interact with Aqua all the way to Aqua's graduation. From the Sisyphus race between the two, to the Minecraft hardcore challenge, and many other moments. Seeing these two together never failed to put a smile on my face, and I just hope their friendship will continue to blossom even post-graduation, even if I do not get to see it anymore. As a parting gift, Pekora immortalized Akupeko in the Holo server, and that moment just hit me right in the feels. Minato Aqua was a pillar of early Hololive, one of the talents which greatly contributed to Hololive's growth, one which inspired many other VTubers along her journey, becoming one of the most beloved VTubers in the industry. So much happened in her 6-year career, this video, long as it is already, barely even scratches the surface of her history. She became an SSR ship in Azure Lane, was included in a Sword Art Online video game, a series that she loved very much, was a Red Bull ambassador, and even released her very own visual novel Aquarium. Seriously, I cannot recommend it enough to any Aqua fans out there. It just has so much soul and love poured into it, and it has a surprisingly amount of depth. Aqua, Marin, and Fubuki's voice acting performances were truly amazing and of professional quality, and Aqua would even end up gaining a Famitsu award for her voice acting performance in it. I can already tell the nostalgia is going to hit me like a ballistic missile whenever I play it going forward. Her growth as a person throughout these last 6 years is very visible, and one can say for sure that she left Hololive as a stronger person, even improving her communication skills compared to the early days. Up until the very end, Minato Aqua burned passionately, releasing song after song, collaborating with as many VTubers as she could, doing all kinds of fun activities and challenges. It was a busy month, but one worthy of celebration. It all culminated in her final stream, a graduation concert that saw her transformation into a legend. Her graduation stream broke the previous record of the most live viewers, with over 700,000 live viewers, with some even saying it neared 1 million at some point. Her graduation stream was watched by all kinds of people, and even many other VTubers, be them indie or corpo, showcasing just how beloved this shy gaming maid really was. And it was such a great concert. seeing the participation of many JP Holo members, ending with her singing her very first original song, Aqua Iro Palette, audibly fighting tears all throughout. And honestly, I couldn't hold it in either. To be quite frank, there's
that reminded me of something, a similar thing happening to Gura and Shion, you know, trying to sing their songs, and you can't, dude. Now, my problem is that happens every single time I sing any song at all. I don't know what it is about singing, but the point is, yeah, it's so beautiful, though. I love that.
Throughout. And honestly, I couldn't hold it in either. To be quite frank, there's still so much more that could have been said. But all of that will be available out there on the internet. The clips, the streams, the songs, the games, the references, the memories. As long as people remember it, it shall never go away. It's sad to see her go, but Minato Aqua will live on in many more ways than one. In her final stream, Aqua asked her fans not to forget her. I do not believe such a thing will be possible. And how could we forget her? Even still, it is my wish that 100 years from now on, VTuber fans of the future look back to this video and discover the VTuber once known as Minato Aqua. That more than just Minato Aqua existed, they may have a good
Someone's
look
cutting
at who
onions.
she was, and what she did, what legacy she left behind. And what a legacy did she leave behind? Forever to become part of VTubing history. A VTuber forever to be remembered as a legend. I am glad I found out about Minato Aqua, for she often made me smile. To bask in the intensity of emotions whenever she poured her heart and soul in whatever competition she fought in. To laugh at how awkwardly shy she'd be sometimes when teased. To be endeared by how preciously cute she was. To root for her whenever she struggled. To celebrate her victories. To share in the feelings of defeat. Even feeling proud whenever she tried to break out of her shell. I am sure many more can relate with these feelings, be them Aqua's fans, co-workers and friends. Aqua has touched and affected many people, and those legacies and memories will live on deep within our hearts. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for the good times. You will always have a special place in my heart as one of my absolute favorite VTubers. May you achieve excellence along your chosen trail, Aqua. This was Minato Aqua, a VTuber who awed and endeared the world.
皆さん、はじめまして。この度、ホロライブ2期生として活動します。minato Aqua です。
思ったより玉ねぎ玉ねぎ 79.4%。 なんなん負けない。あ、負けないぜ。よ、そらちゃんでよ。よ、アクアでよ。ああ、私のに、スー。なんでメイドはよ、ご飯作って掃除してよ。なんでカズ先輩的と思い込んでんだよ。こいつです。痛い。おい、やべえ。おい、逃げんな。やべえ。
Oh.
アクさん、乗りたい。あ、行くよ。
I'm going. I'm falling.
死んでください。
死んでください。
まだいける。うっしー。来ちゃこれだふふ。いただきまーす。
Yeah.
ありがとうございます。ミラト君最強。ありがとう。いってもう最悪。あー、いってんかー。勝てる。ナイス。やったー。ありがとう。オラ
God.
帰ろうよ。5周年おめでとう。ありがとう。セクラちゃんに関してはちょっとなんかあれだよな。
Is that Noelle down there?
来てく
What
れ
the
ると思
heck?
ってなかったからさ、びっくり。いや、赤色だろこれ。ねえ、赤先輩。てか、私のこと好き。じゃあ続いていきますよ。 何を話すの？今日は来ていただいてありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。呼んでいただいて。つら、なんかいじめだよなこれな。これある意味いじめペコだよな。ムードが変わったらアクア先輩スイッチのプロコン買って。
そうでしょ。
なんか
ぽいな。
だからアクア先輩もいいよリクエスト。でもねえ好感度上げるのやめてもらっていいですか？なんかペコーラだけ元気なやつみたいになってるから。余裕さんからの手紙。いやいや、いらねえだろ。いらねえのに好感度上げに来てんじゃねえよ。おい、好感度上げに来てんだろ。いらねえだろ、手紙なんて。
You don't need a letter.
最悪のスタート地点まで行っちゃったよ。私も一番下。嘘だもん。ペコーラ全然樽の直前なんだけど、あんた一番下まで当たる。おいマジか。ペコーラいつもありがとう。ペコちゃんへこの1週間前から企画してくれて本当にありがとう。進行や準備などすごく大変だ。やばい泣きそうかも。この企画のおかげでいろんな人と絡めてとても楽しかった。犬よりおいあーくんだ。ペコーラのこと好きすぎだろお前なあ。ペコちゃん泣いちゃった。ペコちゃん泣いちゃった。泣いてない全然泣いてない。
No, 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 no.
嬉しくて泣くと思う？まさかペコちゃんが本物のアスナだったなんて。マジか。27億円のスタジオ爆発するか。それ最後にやっぱ夢を叶えてもらいたい。バカがよお前よ。ホロライブは消えてんだよバーカ。
じゃあね。Okay, okay, 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 okay. That was great. Really appreciated that. But you guys tell me your thoughts in the comments, and please to the, God blessed, I always forget the name. Dream World Witch. Dream World Witch. I'm going to try and think of an association for that. Dream World Witch, thank you so much for making this. I would have never known anything about Aqua up to this point. So I appreciate your hard work with that. And yeah, for Coco, her graduation being just right behind her live viewership is crazy. Like, I think when Coco left, I think that's where I first really felt sad for a talent, even though I didn't know them. I was just seeing how much everyone was coming together, supporting her and all those other things. So even though I hadn't watched her very much besides a couple streams with Callie, it was really something. So to see her have so much more, you know, or just as many concurrent viewers during her live stream, that's so cool. But that's all I gotta say about that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.